Many years ago, I caught a fire, and the fire that came into my spirit was so strong, and the only thing I was thinking is how to set young students on fire. I called a friend of mine, dressed myself up in suit, well suited, and the first school I went to, the woman was a half caste, half German, half Nigerian, and I sat down, began to talk to her. How that Paul planted, Apollos watered, God gave the increase. We need to arrest these ones early. We need to arrest these ones young. We need to set them on fire, so that by the time they are going to the university, they'll be walking in their ordination. The woman looked at me and said, "Get out of my office." It was like an arrow shot into my heart. I thought because she was a Christian, she would embrace it. I didn't know she had Muslim customers she didn't want to lose. I didn't know she had Hindu customers she didn't want to lose. And as far as she was concerned, her prosperity in the business was more important than serving God. I tried to explain to her. She said, "This meeting is over." Her eyes changed. And she said, "If I talk again, she will bring the security here. How dare you walk into my office to say this nonsense?" It shook my world. When I walked out of that place, for the next 2 years, I didn't preach to anybody. Because anywhere I wanted to go to, fear hit my heart. I was thinking the response would be the same. That fear became a torment. There was a calling, there was an ordination to set youths on fire. But somebody shot an arrow into my heart. And because of what she said, that word was before me every day. I couldn't do anything for God until I met a young man who talked to me in the bus. After he finished talking to me about his passion for the youth, a fire fell on me. I left that place, and the next bus I entered, I started preaching. That was how the ministry came alive again. Because if the Spirit is not poured, the wilderness will remain a wilderness, and you will not know the potential that you carry. This conference is put together to set you on fire. This conference is put together to rekindle your passion. A king can preach, a professor can preach, a student can preach, a beggar can preach. It's not about status, it's about the flames of God. He maketh his angels spirits, but his ministers flames of fire. There are many people today who have a calling to many nations. As they are sitting here now, they should be setting Canada on fire. They should be setting England on fire. But their father was hospitalized. They prayed and their father died. Because their father died, they were discouraged, and an arrow was shot into their soul. And every time they want to talk about God, they can't seem to recover from the pains of losing their fathers. For such people, they need another outpouring. If the Holy Ghost is not poured upon them again, that great ministry will die. There are many persons listening to me here today. Once upon a time, they were seeing visions, and everything they said came to pass. They were setting people on fire, but at some point they were raped. At some point they lost their job. At some point they had a sickness, and they didn't get the result they were expecting. And because they didn't get the results they were expecting, something slipped into their soul. Something dampened their soul. Something weakened their soul. And for the past 7 years, they have not preached to anybody. For the past 7 years, they have not prophesied. For the past 7 years, they have not ministered to anybody. Why? Because an experience left a scar on their soul. The way God addresses those situations is that he pours out his spirit upon them. And that's why I said, until the spirit be poured upon us again from on high. It has been poured before, but it must be poured again. Until the spirit be poured upon us again from on high, the wilderness cannot become a fruitful field. The fruitful field cannot become a forest. So for the wilderness to become a fruitful field, and for the fruitful field to become a forest, revival must come again. We confront things every day, from spirits to forces in society to territorial powers to men. And the agenda of the devil is to kill the energy of your soul, to kill the passion of your soul, to quench that zeal for God. And I tell you, there are many sleeping lions today because of their collision with spirits, because of their collision with systems, because of their collision with men. If the Spirit is not poured again from on high, ministries will die, ordinations will die, callings will fail. This is why conferences like this are important. It's not a place to come and hear another message. It's a place to come and be baptized with fire. It's a place to come and be kindled with fire. It's a place to come and be energized so that you connect with the frequency of the Holy Ghost.